Alright guys, so got the bike, everything went good. I got what I think is a pretty good deal. Not bad for basically a complete roller. So at 200, I got them down to 150. But I ended up paying 160 because I didn't have change, whatever. So 10 bucks, I don't care. But it's a pretty good deal. You can see it. I'm on a stoplight. You can see the bike sitting right there in the back right now. I'll pull it off back of the truck when I get to the house and I'll let you guys get a good look at it as I got it, as it sits, and we'll go from there. All right guys, so here's the bike as I got it. And I know you're thinking, first thing, there's no way those lights came with it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. On the way back from getting this thing, I just decided to stop and go ahead and get the replacement motor, the 301cc. So I got that ready to go, but I'm gonna need to order some parts, wait on those. And I was actually looking, when I was there, looking at the 212 and the 301 side by side. And this 301, it's quite a bit bigger, but it's probably going to take a little bit to get it on here. And I'm probably going to have to do something with the fuel tank and stuff. Maybe not, we'll see. But that's it. And I'll get back with you once I get some work done on this thing. Well, there you go. She'll run. So you can see this thing's running, but I just don't feel good about using this engine. Well, and this is a 300cc budget build. That's the purpose of the video, is doing 300cc budget build. But even if I did want to try to use this motor, I just don't feel good about using it. I mean, you can see someone drilled a bunch of holes in the exhaust there, and it just looks like it was rode hard and put away wet. And I just need to get it up on a bench and go through it and look at it before I put it on anything. So we're pulling that off. It'll be a backup motor, or sell it and make the build even cheaper. But this bike's pretty solid once I did a little research on it and looking into what they go for. I mean, I found a roller online for 500 bucks, so I like I did pretty good at 160 for this. I mean, I knew it was a solid bike just looking at it, the tires and the frame and everything. But once I did a little research into them, they have these Mega Motos are pretty good. So next step, probably gonna pull this chain off and pull this motor off until we can clean it. All right, well, I'll get back with you guys once I get this motor pulled off and this chain pulled off. got the motor pulled off, chain off. Did a quick little clean on it, knocked the dirt off of it so we're not getting our hands filthy. Got the motor unboxed, and looks like it's a Hemi to me, based on the size of that valve cover. I think the non-Hemis have a smaller valve cover, kind of like this one. How that's smaller. I think that there's the Hemi 212 also. I'm not sure which one's better, the Hemi or the non-Hemi. I've heard different things, but we'll run this thing and find out. Let's go ahead and throw this thing on the bike and see how it fits. All right, there we go. We got her in, but big butt here. We had to take some stuff off. So we had to take the intake, or yeah, the air filter intake off. That's definitely not fitting. We're gonna have to do something with that. The exhaust had to come off also, because it's definitely hitting. The tank fits in there as it is, or it sits, but we're gonna have to wait on that torque converter to come in, which I have on order, to see where we need the engine to be, so we can decide if that engine is gonna stay there or if it's gonna come up on top of this and get mounted up here. So right now, as it sits, I could take this, put fuel in it easy. That'd be perfect if I can get it to sit right like that. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll show you how these are not fitting. Here's the exhaust. I took the cover off it too. I tried doing it in steps. Tried going the motor fully stock. Tried taking the cover off the exhaust, wouldn't go. Tried taking the exhaust off, and it wouldn't go. And then I had to take the intake off, and then it would go. But you can see how this is gonna hit there. But we'll just make a custom exhaust, which I'd like to do anyway. And then I'll show you the intake also. And I can see how that guy is just not fitting. So I'm gonna have to wait on parts. All right guys, so we're still waiting on the torque converter, but I wanted to show you a couple things I had to do to make this this throttle work out. Well, first of all, there's a spring washer underneath here. Take that, then take it off and just get rid of it. So that way your throttle springs back and forth really easy. The other thing was I had to add this rod and connect these two throttles, because there was a spring there and it wasn't rigid, it was just a spring, and I don't know what was going on, but it wasn't working right. I forgot to look at it before I took everything apart. But now, as you can see that throttle, that's the throttle right there moving, and it springs back perfectly. So something else you could do is just add a spring right here, drill a hole there, and use that lever to pull that back. I'm not sure if this is necessary to do as rigid, but it definitely helps to add this spring here, pulling back. All right, so we got the torque converter in, and this is everything that it came with. I paid about 75 bucks for this. I've bought them for 50 in the past, and I've seen them all the way up to 100, and it just seems like it depends on when you're buying them. I've seen them for 50 on eBay, and that's where I got this one. This one came with less bolts than the other ones I got. I'm gonna have to probably get these mounting bolts fit in the engine, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna just get some better grade, longer ones. I just don't feel good about these. I'm gonna have to get a bolt to go in the end of the drive shaft as well, and this gear, it looks like well, it's supposed to be a 41. I think it's a 10 tooth. I don't know, but that came with it. This is basically how I got it. So I'm gonna start getting this thing put on. I'll get back with you after that. First, this spacer, too big, too wide. Need it about a 1/4 inch. I think it's like a half. So we're gonna have to use some washers or something to make that work. No big deal. This tab right there, you can see it. I had to cut that off because it was hitting this. And there's the upper one. I guess it held on a chain guard or something. But the big issue is the fact that these holes are not lining up. I don't know if you can see that. And the reason for that is that it is hitting the other side oil dipstick. I'll show you that. And you can see it's sitting right on there. So what we're gonna make a plug out of this. This is the dipstick that was in there. It's out right now. Because we only need one, really. I mean, we only need one place to check the oil and fill it. So the other side, we don't need. I want to see if I can find an actual plug. If I can't find a plug, then I'm going to make one out of this. And then once we get the plug in there, we're gonna have to clearance that aluminum a little to get that to sit right. So I'll get back with you guys once I get that done. torque converter on. A couple things. You want to make sure that this plate is in line with this plate. So the cover go on like so. There we go. Boom. Now we may need to extend that foot peg out. We'll see how it goes. More than likely we will. Next step, we need to mount the engine. So I've got the two front bolts holes lined up. Those are good. The back ones, not so much. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get this chain in line, and then we're gonna have to drill the back holes because it's a bigger motor, wider spacing. So we'll get it done. Here's the plan for the exhaust, keeping the theme of budget. Now, first of all, we're going to use this stock manifold because I want the exhaust to come up and out. I don't want it running out here because I feel like you would burn yourself on it. I want to try to run it right through here. Now, I could cut a plate and try to make my own right here, but I don't think I could make anything with that tight of a bend that would flow as good as this cast piece, and that's probably why they made it out of cast. So I'm going to try to use this piece and cut it down to where I think we're going to need it, and then we're going to put it in to some EMT conduit. Now, should I use stainless? Probably. But will this work? Yeah. How long will it last? I don't know. But we'll find out. And it definitely is exactly the size I need, and it's very budget friendly. This 90 was $6 at Home Depot. 10-foot section of 1 inch. $10, and then lawnmower muffler off Amazon is $8, I think. And I think we'll make a pretty cool exhaust once we have all this combined. Now, if you can't weld or you don't want to, you could probably buy some sort of a, exhaust that would fit onto this. But you're probably gonna spend, I don't even know, $50, $100. I don't know what they go for, but definitely not less than 20 like this. Now, something to think about: if you are trying to weld this, welding cast to steel is not exactly easy. Not hard, but you just need to make sure you have the right setup, and there's a couple different options. I'm gonna use nickel filler rod because it's a exhaust and it's going to expand and contract, and we need something that's gonna do that with it. Trying to braze it, I think it's just gonna end up cracking and not lasting. We'll see how it goes. I got a couple different options, but I'm gonna try to go with nickel initially, and we'll see how it goes. Also, when trying to figure out how to lay out your exhaust, a little piece, or rather a big piece of TIG filler works well for doing that. And what I like to do is just bend it where I think, and just kind of play around with it and see exactly where we need everything to fall. Now, an issue here is going to be heat, and to combat that, we're going to be using some kind of a wrap on the exhaust, and we should be fine. If we need to trim some of this fender, we will. No big deal. And once we get the exhaust done, we should be ready to start this thing up. I have it dry right now. I haven't put any oil in it because I've been moving it in and out of the frame, and it just didn't make sense. So once we get this exhaust done, get it bolted on, throw some oil in it, and get it started. See what happens.